Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abby, and I heartily welcome you to the Caribbean and to my container garden here in Trinidad and Tobago. Now that the chickens are no longer here, now I can focus more of my attention back to growing the vegetables. Believe it or not, those chickens took a lot of brain space as well as physical space to get them through to the end. And it was truly an eye opener as to why it is so expensive nowadays, because just to keep them alive, farmers really stand to lose a lot if they don't really stay on top of things. It really is a lot of work here in the tropics, I must add, because of the amount of heat that we deal with. It really takes a lot of thinking how to get them through each and every hour. I'm not going to say days, because I went upstairs sometimes, chickens look fine and come back down and they're dead. It was truly eye-opening. So I understand to a greater degree why things are becoming so much more expensive. Climate change, believe it or not, is affecting a lot of things. I remember this time of the year being quite cooler. Even though it was dry season, we would tend to get a lot of those cold fronts coming down from the US, from the Canada. But these days, we're not getting those anymore. By the time it hits the sea, the Atlantic Ocean, the waters are so warm that those cold fronts usually disintegrate before it reaches us here down in the south. So this morning I have two tasks on my to-do list. I have a couple of seedlings that I started a couple weeks ago, and they've been in their pots a little too long in my opinion. I need to pop them up, and I also have a harvest that I need to get done. So I think I will get started with the harvest because I have quite a bit of cucumbers. I have a zucchini here. The flower didn't open, but it's a sizable zucchini, and we're going to eat it because it's quite sizable. And we have a bit of radishes and a little bit of, tidbits here and there to harvest. So I'm going to take you guys along with me this morning as I tap into what the container garden is giving us this morning. But before we do start this harvest, I'm noticing that one of the tendrils of the butternut squash is keeping the flower closed. So I'm going to adjust that now before we get started. Oh my gosh. Why do I have to be so vertically challenged? See if we can find a flower and pollinate that one time. I'm going to hand pollinate this flower because when a squash flower opens, you have 4 hours before it the chance of pollinating it disappears, and it tends to disappear by around 8 o'clock. It's about 6:30 right now, so I have an hour and a half. So let's hand pollinate it. A bee's coming by, so I'm gonna let him finish do the job. I'm not sure if to leave that. That's the wasp that tend to eat out the eggplant flower. Okay, so he's heading to a male flower now. You can have fun in the male flower wasp. But that black wasp is what eats out the eggplant flowers. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And if I'm seeing him chowing down in my female flower, he has to go. I try not to kill things too quickly because everything has a purpose, and I'm not too sure what his purpose is. But everything has a purpose. When you have like a nice cycle in the garden, it helps out with the issues that you're having. So I'm gonna leave him be for now until I can figure out what's his what's his hope, what's his job in the garden. Yeah, I'm getting distracted by so many things, but I just want to show you guys how this Merlot, it looks in the sun. It looks so pretty. So just what I envision, having the pops of color with the lettuces, the leafy greens. Let me get my shadow out of the way so you can see how it is. Try to move around this tripod. So they're not ready to harvest. This was the only container that I did not treat. And believe it or not, the plants are showing signs of it. So I treated it yesterday, and I'm going to listen to the advice that was given to me. Sometimes we try to do our own thing, but if we just follow instructions, things will work out. I didn't want to deal with it, but this could very well be the reason why I can get reinfestation easily. So let's get started. Oh, somebody left their book outside. So let's get started. This is the zucchini flower that didn't open, so you can start to see how the fruit is starting to wither away slowly. So we're gonna take this. It's quite sizable. I don't know how to harvest this, so I'm gonna snip away at this. And what I plan to do with this is to put it on the grill. So grilled zucchini with dill, olive oil and dill drizzle, and some barbecue meats, barbecue chicken. Hey, wow. Look at that. This is our first zucchini, guys. This is our first zucchini. Now, I know all my plants need amending. I really haven't been able to give them the TLC that I would love to, but I'm going to get to that soon. Now, this cucumber plant has been giving us cucumbers, and they are tasty. Don't forget, I also planted this. I want them to be, some of them to be full like this because I want to be making some juices for my husband because it helps him a lot to avoid buying, sodas and drinks full of sugar, which has been proven to be detrimental to him of late. So he loves his green juices, cucumber juice, cucumber and ginger juice. So I have all those things to harvest this morning. I'm going to harvest all these cucumbers. It's good to harvest all your cucumbers because then it will give you lots more. All green, having them on a trellis makes it so much easier to see. Makes it so much easier to see these cucumbers when they're on a trellis. So let me just show you how many we got. So far this is how many we got off of this one plant. That's quite a good harvest of cucumbers and the zucchini. So let's move on to see what we got in the radishes. All right, so let's take off this protective layer. Just take you off when you're on my plant already. Oh, that fly puts the leaf miner onto your plant. So let's go through. Wow. Look at that. We're gonna harvest out. These things should be ready by now. A nice radish. Ones that haven't rooted up, I'm gonna pull them out as well. And that is so cool. Some of them haven't rooted, but some of them have. So let me get my scissors and put these roots back in here, put back in this organic matter into the pot. And I'll give the chickens the greens this morning. That's pretty good. Now the beetroot should have more room to spread its wings. And just a couple of unwanted plants in here. A pretty good harvest of radishes. Oh, from in here. So let's put it in the basket. Okay, so now I know what type of okra this is. This is the fourth okra that I'm getting off of this plant. It is an okra long. Just to give you guys some context as to how long this okra is, and it is still very tender. That's the type of okra it is called deer horn because, it's a long okra. It's called deer horn okra, and it is very tasty. I love this okra because it gives you a lot of grace. You don't have to rush to pick it. So it actually gets about 2 or 3 more inches longer and it's still very tender. Okay, so I'm trying to get through everything without being stung. There's so many bees here. So now I have these jalapenos. I'm hearing my son, he's woken. So I'm gonna harvest out. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming. So I have these jalapenos. It's a couple, not many, but they will come in handy for when you're going to make some pickle or radish for from with the cucumbers. So I'll make one spicy and I will make one without the spice for the kiddos. Yeah, so we got 3 jalapenos from this plant. They have flowers and stuff on it. They just need a feed. They need some TLC. I'll give y'all some TLC soon. I'm also seeing some zucchini that didn't come here. Give the chickens that. Let me cut this one. Let's see how this one looks closer. Not bad. Yeah, not bad at all. I'll give the chickens this one. I must say, this is a really good feeling. So this cucumber is on the western side of the house, and this too is doing pretty good. Getting some sizable cucumbers on this side as well, and getting quite a bit as well. So I'm really happy with this variety. So I would say if you find seeds that are specifically bred for the Caribbean, give it a try if you're in the tropics because it seems as though you get a better harvest. Get a better harvest. And like I said, the more you keep picking, the more you will get cucumbers keep coming out. So the plant could continue to give us energy to new fruit. So that's it. I'm not seeing any more, but I'm seeing lots more little cucumbers coming out on this plant. Quite a bit more coming out. So we got three off of this plant. I'm happy. So now we're gonna harvest the ginger. So you can see how this ginger plant is, the older canes, they're all bent over and they're dying back. But the plant is reshooting new ginger shoots. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying not to harvest all. I'm just going to harvest piece and see if I can get the rest to continue growing without me having to replant it. So let's try that out. I'm going to get me a knife and we're going to cut into possibly right here because they have some in the corner here that are growing. Or I can harvest out the corner here and leave this one over here on this side. Not too sure. We could try and move away to see what we're doing, what we're dealing with. Oh wow, the earth and all smells like ginger. So yeah, I'm gonna just take the knife and cut through here and leave this little bit in the soil and leave that to see the canes came off. They're pretty die back. So we're gonna harvest out this ginger down here. I'm gonna cut. I'm seeing a new shoot coming up here, so I'm gonna cut through the soil. Avoid disturbing the roots there. Yeah, and then now I'm gonna get a fork. So I got me a fork. Now that I've cut through there, I'm gonna make sure I'm not stabbing anything here. Loosen it up a little and pull it up. So hard to pull the older cake just coming out of my hand. Make sure I get all of it. There we go. I'm gonna use this especially to make that green juice. Cucumber and ginger drink is amazing. And the trick when you're doing these drinks is using a sweetener that doesn't alter the taste. So we found that blue agave does that really well. So instead of using honey, broke it. There's no centipede in this soil. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good stuff, man. So it's continuing to grow new shoots here. It's a one plant that I grew from a little tiny piece, and it took me 12 months to get to this point. All right, so I'm gonna leave these pieces here in the soil. I'm even gonna leave this one here. I'm gonna leave that and allow them to run and continue to grow ginger for us. So I don't have to worry about planting over ginger. Just gonna allow that to do its thing right there. The soil is pretty dry. Oh my gosh. My container is completely falling away. Let's see if I can get my husband to make me a new one. So that's the ginger, quite a bit. The chickens will also enjoy eating these greens. They will take this apart. Great medicinal stuff for them. I'm not going to put it in the container with this stuff. I put it on one side and get me a separate basket for that. Yeah. So that's the ginger. So, guys, that's the harvest we got this morning. A nice, good harvest from a few containers. So, this is one container, two, three containers, four containers. So, four containers gave me all of this food. That's a big harvest, a good harvest from four containers. So, oh, five containers because I have an okra. Oh, six, the jalapenos. So six containers can give you quite a bit. They could really contribute quite a bit to your vegetables at home. So this is me giving you encouragement to also get up and get going. You could do it, guys. One container at a time. It makes a big, big difference. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so glad with the harvest I got. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.